Hello, I'm Kieran, and rather than reading through ArkBridge page by page, I want to look at it from a user's point of view. What is clear, where important information sits, and what deserves a closer read before anyone opens or funds an account. So the first thing that stands out is the range of markets. ArkBridge brings together Forex, stocks, ETFs, commodities, and digital assets within a multi-asset CFD environment. That makes the purpose clear. It is built for people who would rather follow different markets from one place than switch between different services. The homepage also introduces instant market access, adaptive trading tools, and portfolio visibility. So in practical terms, users should be able to follow balances, positions, and performance without hunting through disconnected screens. So near the top, there is a moving line of familiar names, including CoinMarketCap, Business Insider, Investing.com, TradingView, FX Empire, and Daily Forex. That is worth pausing on because it gives context around the publications and platforms linked to ArkBridge's media presence. Very cool. Now, if we scroll further down, Business Insider, Yahoo Finance, and Investing.com appear in larger panels, which is quite cool because you can open that up and you can get an outside perspective on ArkBridge. So over to the accounts page is where the review becomes super practical. ArkBridge lists 5 tiers. You've got your basic, Prime, Apex, Alpha, and Zenith. The displayed deposit requirements begin at $500, followed by $2,500, $25,000, $100,000, and $250,000. It's very visual, so the tiers are shown side by side, making it easier to compare what changes as the levels of deposit rises. Now, the basic account mentions entry-level leverage, market analysis tools, educational resources, a weekly market newsletter, and 0 commissions. And of course, each tier brings more benefits. I really like how they've stated this from the off. So ArkBridge also highlights TradingView charting, segregated client funds, and 2-factor verification. Powerful stuff. Those details matter because an account is not only about the market available, it is also about how information is presented and what safeguards are described. Safeguarding is imperative. Now, over on the deposits and withdrawal page, this explains the funding options so clearly. It covers cryptocurrency, credit card, wire transfer deposits with transactions managed through the dashboard, which is very cool. And then of course with withdrawals, ArkBridge describes logging in securely, opening a withdrawal area, checking the available balance, and submitting a request. Cryptocurrency transactions may be confirmed through the blockchain, while other completed withdrawals can be confirmed through registered email addresses, which all makes great sense to me. Now, I would say it would still be worth reading the withdrawal policy before sending funds. Processing conditions, verification checks, supported methods, and account name requirements can affect how smoothly a transaction is completed. So make sure you check that out. Now, looking over at the fees and charges page is so useful because it separates the headline pricing from costs that may still arise. So ArkBridge says there are no account opening or management fees for CFD trading, and that it covers most deposits and withdrawal processing fees. I like that. However, I should point out a bank or payment provider may charge for transfers, international card use, or currency conversion, so keep that in mind. Now also, overnight funding may apply to leveraged positions held beyond the stated time. The website also lists an inactivity fee of $25 per month after 2 months, rising to $50 after 6 months, so worth keeping that in mind. There is also an account security page covering phishing, suspicious links, fake communications, and official channels. That is useful because security depends partly on platform controls and partly on users protecting their login details. So I like the fact they've mentioned that. And if we just go over to the company insights. Now, beyond trading, the companies section provides background on ArkBridge, including its focus on transparency, control, and multi-asset access. The ECG page outlines its environmental, social, and governance positioning. Now, the insight area adds depth through the blog, learning section, and media center, so they're worth checking out. There are introductions to CFDs, technical and fundamental analysis, cryptocurrencies and financial terminology, etc. So absolutely worth checking that out too. This is useful for anyone who wants to understand the language before accessing the platform. So my overall view is that ArkBridge has organized a large amount of information into a website that is straightforward to explore. The strongest feature is not one claim, it is that accounts, funding, fees, security, the company's background, and education each have a very clear place. ArkBridge is an executive-only service. The website should be the beginning of your research and not the end. Read the legal documents, compare the account conditions carefully, and decide whether the platform matches how you want to trade. Go check them out at arkbridge.com, and thanks for watching.